Hello. I wanted to, one of the readings that you're going to be looking at is this PDF file. It's I guess you could say like a guide or an article about how to use, actually, about how to find evidence based prevention. So, one of the things you're going to hear time and time again is that you must use empirical evidence. The reason why people hire us as trained public health people is that we know where to find evidence-based programs, evidence-based interventions, things that really work. Well, so to be that, you have to know where these things are located. That's going to be helpful both for your project and really just for your profession in general. Like, how do you find the programs that do tend to change people's knowledge, skills, attitudes, beliefs, and behaviors, and potentially that can change environments as well. So one of the readings that I've given you is this. This is from Ohio, so that you'll see when you're reading throughout this, there's some specific things that are specific to Ohio, but there's a lot of information in here that can be really helpful for you. So, Guide for Evidence-Based Prevention. So basically, it's how do you identify those strategies for high priority health programs. So as you kind of go through here, and this is designed to, contents, you can take a look at this. First of all, that just defines what is evidence-based prevention. Then this is what's really key, is how do you navigate sources of evidence? Like, how do you find these things and how do you find what you're looking for? Part 3, that is focused on Ohio. So that may not be a section that's going to be particularly helpful for you, but you can skip to part 13, which I'm going to show you in just a minute. Is very helpful. So this is really about evidence-based practice. And if you kind of scroll down here, like, what does this mean when something is evidence-based? It gives you kind of 3 concepts to think about. Also, a neat thing to think about, let's see, where is this? Let me scroll down a little bit. This is a really nice continuum here. This is, high effectiveness is over here on the left-hand side here. Low effectiveness is over here. And then down on this axis, we've got strong and weak evidence. So weak at the bottom, strong at the top. So you can kind of see it's almost like a stair-stepped here where, we're really wanting to implement programs that are at least kind of from here on out, not just a program that we came up with that it sounded good, that has undetermined effectiveness and really doesn't have much evidence. We want to at least, perhaps like emerging, like there are promising, or like a new field that not a lot of people have studied it yet. So there may be a program that doesn't have a lot of study, but is theory-based, seems like it's going in a direction that it should be. Promising direction is where we've had a study or two, or kind of internal studies that are done that look like your program is going in a promising direction, all the way up to supported and well supported. So, unsupported or even programs that are harmful, really something like a DARE program for preventing kids from initiating drug use, drug abuse and drug misuse. That's really unsupported in the data. It does, there's some research that says it makes kids less afraid of police officers, which is important. But if you're looking at it in terms of preventing the beginning of drug use and abuse, it is unsupported at this time. So we want to put our money, our time, our effort into things on the left-hand side of this. If you got kind of confused about what that means, when it comes to evidence-based, effective, promising, and emerging, this is a really great pyramid to take a look at, what these mean. So we're kind of working at the top of the pyramid. As you scroll through this, read through this, I'm going to show you something really helpful at the end of this. Let me just go over here to the side. How do you navigate sources of evidence? Let me show you this before we kind of skip to the end of that. What is a systematic review? This kind of tells what that is and gives you some examples. So you can actually find these sources and look up some of the information. Maybe they have a systematic review on, prenatal nutrition or something that you want to see. You can also look at peer-reviewed literature. Most of you are pretty familiar with how to find articles in journals, so peer-reviewed journals. You can look, and here's some examples of them in the public health field. Here's searchable databases and evidence registries. You can actually go to these places, like just highlight these, and I'll show you, there's some links to that a little bit later in this thing that you're going to be reading. So look there. There may be lots of information there about programs that have worked either in your population or with the topic that you're interested in proposing. So let's kind of, keep going. Like, this tells you a step-by-step. Where do you start? Start here to look for programs that work. Again, don't reinvent the wheel. If you can find something that's been effective in a population, take a look at that. That can give you a lot of key information that you can tailor to your population. So this is kind of the same stuff, but in graphic format. Where do you start? Start here. You can even see, lots of topics down here. And that's not all the topics that they have. That's just examples of some. All right. So if you scroll kind of past the section, if you flip past that, this is the Ohio specific section. But if you scroll down to additional evidence here, is this the one that has it linked? Yes. So this is the cool part. If you download this, and instead of like printing it out or something like that, see the links, you can actually just click on these. These are hot links. So interactive website from U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention that's about understanding evidence-based public health practice. So when you don't know where to go, start clicking on some of these. All of these, when you start with this online guide, this part 4, these are hot links. So this is a great place to start if you don't know where to go. So let's look at what works for health. And that's going to pop up. Let me pull that onto the screen so you guys can see that. So evidence matters, find strategies by topics. So maybe you want something, a program for alcohol and drug use. So you can click on that one. And it's going to give you all sorts of, information about policies and programs that improve health. So, restricting advertising, that's a program that has been, there's some evidence that it's effective. And you can kind of go through, and these are all clickable. And you can sort of see these are short sessions, brief interventions. What can they do? What evidence is there that those are effective in reducing excessive drinking or binge drinking, dangerous drinking, or high risk drinking. So anyway, I just wanted to show that to you so that you knew you have all of these resources. And again, these are all clickable. So please use your resources, and that will help you plan a really great program. Hope that helped.